Now once you're logged in, you land on the landing page, the home page right here. And here will display all of your recent designs. So if you have looked at or edited some of the projects in the past, here they are. And quite often what I will do is I will go into a recent design. So say like this book fair one that I've created here. And I will copy that page up here. So there's my page itself, and I'll copy that page, duplicate it. And then I'll just make adjustments on this page if it's something very, very similar to what I've already created. It just saves me some work so that I don't have to recreate what I've already done. And then when I share this out, what I need to do is I just make sure that I'm downloading just that second page. I don't want all of them. I just want the second page of that. And it'll download the second page that I can then use. However, if you don't have any recent designs, then you can search through Canva's enormous project template. So let's just say we need something for our hot lunch. Now I have done a hot lunch search and not a whole lot comes up. So if I go and click on hot lunch, and see what comes up, there's not a lot of things. So I'm going to redo my search and I'm going to do food. And in food, there's a whole bunch of different templates that do come up. Now, the size that we do need for our website is the presentation size. So right now, if I look at, here's all the items that are coming up, and if I click on view more, and if I can filter it out just to my presentation, now I know that every single one of these items right here, if I selected them, they would be the right size for me. However, we don't need to be limited to that size because we can resize what we select. However, you need to think about when we do resize, if we resize something like this, to a 16 by 9, which is going to be long and narrow, that's just going to look, that's going to be really hard to do. But we could probably resize something like this very easily. We wouldn't want to resize this, but you can take a look through and see which ones that might be easier to resize. So I'm going to go into this cooking class one right here. Now, because it is a presentation, it does have more than one option for us. So if we click on it over on the sidebar here, it actually provides us the opportunity to click on it. And if we don't want that first page to use, we do have a number of the other pages here available to us. However, this one looks pretty cool, and I'm just going to go in and I'm going to click resize to make sure that it is the size that we need. Now what I can do here is I want to make sure it's on the pixels, and I go 1600 by 900, and I'm not going to copy and resize it, I'm just going to resize it. And so now here's my resize, and you can see it's a little bit squished. So then what I can do is I can click on each of the items, and each of the items are called elements, and I can move these in here, and if I click on it I get a square around it, and that square are called handles, and I can enlarge or reduce the size of each of these elements by holding the corner of that handle and just resizing it. Now for me to adjust the text itself so that I can change the actual what's written in here is I just have to double click on it, and you can see it highlights my text and allows me to change what's actually written in here. If I want to change the format of the text itself, I can access the toolbar up top here, and I can click on my drop down menu, and I have a number of different opportunities for font. I can change the color by clicking on the text color up top here, and I can select from up top here, or I can select my default colors and change some of my default colors. And you can see that this effects tab is highlighted, and what that means is that an effect is applied to this text, and I can tell it's probably an outline or a shadow text. So if I highlight it one more time and click on that effects tab, it provides me with some effects opportunities, editing effects that I can add right here. And this is where I can change the color of the two splices. So one is white, so I can change that to maybe like an orange. And you can see there's my main, and then there's the splice of it. The style, I can change the style of the effect itself, and then these change some of the parameters around it. I can even change the shape of it. Now the other thing that I can do is I can delete some of these. So I just click on them, and when I click on them, any element that I click on provides another little editing toolbar here. And here's my garbage can that I can delete it with. This will create a duplicate of it. And then this, it allows you to layer your effects, so that if I have this over top of my text, but I want my text to be displayed over top of that, I can send it to back so that I can see my text. I can also add additional elements in here by clicking on the element tab over here and doing a search. And let me tell you, when I say anything is available here, anything is available here. So say this time it's going to be Chinese food. It breaks it down into my graphics, photos, and videos. So if I want to see just the graphics part of it, and the way that I insert them is I literally just click on them and it gets inserted. Use my handles to move them around. And here's even, I call this my little curly cue, that you can adjust where these go. In here I could add shapes. So say if I wanted to do this hot lunch with a rectangle behind it, a colored rectangle behind it, I could totally adjust that. And if this rectangle did go on top, that's where I could go and say into my position up top here, and I would want it to move backwards or forwards. But if it's on top, I would want to move it backwards. I can change that color by clicking on it, and it comes the options that I can do. And I can change that so it's going to be, maybe I'm going to pick up purple right now. And I can delete elements again by just clicking on them and deleting them, or else I can change the text. So my hot lunch is going to be for December 6th. And maybe I want to add additional text, and I can do that by clicking on my text tab on the far left. And what it does is it provides you to add a heading, which would be something big like this, a subheading, which would be something in between, and then a little body of text. Again, just clicking on it will add it. And I can move it around, adds it even smaller. Double clicking on it allows me to change my text. I can highlight that and change my font by going up to my drop menu. And I can search, maybe I just want handwriting styles. And so what this does is it narrows it down to just all my handwriting styles. And I might want to change my color for that one, make it hot pink. And maybe this time I want it to be an echo. And when I'm totally done, the way that I get it from Canva to my desktop so that I can insert it into my website is through the share functionality. So I click on share. I'm going to download it. And I want to download it as a PNG or a JPEG. Either one of those will work just fine. Now this will download to your downloads folder itself. So if you go and look in your downloads folder, it'll be accessible there. And then you can take that image and put it into your website.